Hey, it's working. That's good. I've been having a hard time with this webcam lately. Um, and I've been sick. And I've been really playing with some modeling stuff that I don't usually do. And I've been learning a bunch of stuff. So I've been really bad about making videos. So hello. Welcome back. It's really dark on in my room on my screen. So I'm sorry for the shadow on my little webcam. But it's like midnight here, and like I said, I'm sick, and we switched rooms where our computers were. We had a new roommate move in. There's just been some little life changes going on, so I've just been horrible on updating people on what's going on with the game. So let's just dive into it, shall we? And I think I messed with my webcam settings too, so I think that uh, things are all reversed and messed up. I don't know. But I need to update you guys on what's going on because I'm excited and it's long overdue. I can show you kind of something. Don't look at any of this. Don't pay attention to any of this. This is just testing the world size. This is like one little piece. I've been working on these spline pieces so I can make like a lot of different castles really easy with different little splines, little pieces like this, and I'm making sure to keep it semi-accurate for a cartoony game, so you could like shoot arrows through these slits or drop things through them. I'll probably make them wider, but I don't want to make them too wide because I don't want the character's collision to fall through, because it'd be really irritating if you're trying to drop a rock on somebody or whatever and then you fall through, which I guess if you've been in castles you could. I just don't think that you would do that. I don't know. But as with the clunky video game, that might happen. So I'm trying to make these. I'm testing collision on these to see how big I can get them really without having players get stuck, especially with multiplayer replication and just things that can happen in video games. I try to do my debugging kind of as I go, since I really don't want to piss people off when this releases. I want people to like what I make. But yes, that's one thing I've been working on that I haven't really been posting videos of, which I should be doing. Obviously, these aren't like UV unwrapped, and they all look pretty hideous. Woo! But the idea is there, and the concepts are working. So I'm probably gonna have some videos up of me actually making, like, stuff. Like, I'm gonna try and get towns and stuff in here now that I've got a lot more of the gameplay going better. So anyways, that's something that's to come. I've been working on, well, you know what, let's just hop in and I'll show you, and we can do 2 players. Should we do 2 players? Sure, why not? And we'll just make this full screen when it pops up. Sorry if I sniffle and stuff. I'm trying not to be gross while I'm sick on here. And I'll make this full screen, even though I think, it kind of hides the little vitals and stuff, but there's still the standard ones. I do have thumbnails and stuff for my items now, though, which is nice. Character's still invisible when you first start out. If you heard that, I have sound effects now, so that are mine. Those two they're kind of stock effects, but most of the other sound effects I have in here are ones I created. These are like royalty-free stock effects, but these sounds of me like picking stuff up and dropping stuff are ones I made. I have, last time I was showing you guys the animations for the lantern when I'd run and stuff weren't really working. And now when I run and walk, you can see the animation works, and I don't stab myself with the lantern, which is nice. And on the other player's screen, you can see that too, which was another thing that I was having a hard time with. If I... how can I do this? I remember how I did this. Okay. If I... Let's say I just drop I hate that the visor doesn't come off when I take the helmet off yet. The other thing I was showing before was if I looked around with different objects, my whole body wasn't moving with them, and now it is. So if I'm just standing over here and there's a little character walking around, this works for NPCs and players. Anything that a player can do, I'm making it so NPCs can do it, basically. But yeah, now when I look around, I raise the little lantern up, and it follows my little body, and that goes for other items as well. It, like before, the axe and stuff wasn't working, and now this works as intended, which is nice. Wherever the player's looking is where their head moves. I love that. It's a small detail, makes a big difference when it's not there, though, in my opinion. You know what? This little guy can just keep the helmet, I think, though, because I think I've fixed that. I obviously haven't fixed where the lantern drops, though. Oh, that item disappeared because I just came on the despawn. But I have items that are spawning in and out now. The thumbnails for the items I've made are there, so that's nice. I've got some little weenies and some apples. More uncooked weenies. What's in this little drawer? Let's find out. The water skin that's probably filled with beer. And I've got little descriptions for my stuff now. This would appear to be a meat on the go. 10 stamina, 25 thirst. This sausage is raw though, so you'll lose stats when you eat it raw. What's in here? I already took it. I just kind of have random stuff dropping so I could test my items and kind of see how it's going. And if I decide to cook these, I can do that now. So I've got some recipes working. Pick up some wood. And you'll notice in the top left corner, those thumbnails are mine now too, which is nice. I'll turn this on. Kind of hear the fire cooking, or we can watch them. Now it turns into the cooked sausage. And just eat one of these right now. Have some little water. So yeah, I'll add more slots here to this area so that you can cook, you know, a lot of things and get a little recipe out of it. And if I drop these next to each other, they're even different meshes, so you can kind of tell what's a cooked sausage versus what's the raw sausage. And of course the text pops up and shows you, but the difference is there. It'll be a lot more apparent with other food items too. Now we can eat those, and we'll just, this is probably almost out of wood. So one thing that wasn't working last time either that's working now is I'm sorry, I'm so stuffy. Hold on. I don't have any tissues right here, so never mind. Hope my mic unmuted, but I'm having a hard time with two-handed weapons and items like that. The axe I had last time, or I had all those like weapons laying out here. They're not laying here anymore because I've made them into items, like real items now, so you can pick them up and equip them and stuff. Of course, they probably won't spawn while we're playing in this little play test because I think I have them in the castle. I don't know. Anyways, so two-handed stuff isn't working right now. I'm having a disconnect with my animations, like so both hands are holding them. I know there's a lot of ways to do that, especially with guns in games, and like one hand is like cocks the shotgun and the other hand, you know, they move together and all that. I'm just learning that stuff still. So when I get that stuff figured out, then I'll have my two-handed weapons working better, and I'll pull back in that little axe. So what I did was I took that axe and I just took the same mesh and I just kind of shortened it and reanimated the character with it. So now it's a one-handed axe, and I'll probably just keep that variation of it, and then we'll have a two-handed axe too. I've also fixed my gate, so now when you walk up to it, it highlights. You can hit E on it and it'll open. This is replicated, so the other players will see its status of being open or closed. And you know, right now you just look at the gate and open it, just because that tests doors and stuff, but later it will be there'll be like a lever inside or something. The shading, I've been playing with my post-processing effects, just trying to get different comic book styles in here and just playing with different looks. This keep will be irrelevant soon. This was like one of the first kind of castle-esque cartoony buildings I made. And now that I'm working on that spline stuff I kind of showed you a sneak peek of, this will be, it's just, it looks really good and it's kind of cute for what it is, but the new stuff's going to be a lot better. And this is just, it's just tiny. It's too small. It doesn't really work. It could be like a barracks or something, but it's just, I've outgrown it and I've got a lot better stuff going on. This was named Jaeger Keep for my friend Anthony Jaeger. So the first castle I make will, I think I'll just make it Jaeger Town or something. But yeah, playing with those post-processing effects, the grass is a little different. I took the black outline off the actual texture, so the outline that's on there now is the post-processing effect. It doesn't look as thick. It's kind of nice. The LODs that I've been playing with are old too, so like if you look at these aspens, they look really dark and kind of ugly until I run up on them, and then they don't look anything alike when you get close enough that they actually load in. And I've also got the distance wrong on those. Uh-oh, my one character just died. I should probably eat some stuff. So, but I've got the collision in on the trees now. I can chop them down. I didn't show you guys this before. And I'm randomly getting apples now that I've made. And I've been watching stuff and kind of learning how when that mesh is dead and before it respawns, it will, you know, actually crack and fall down and leave a little stump there, and then you can cut the stump up too. So this is all working now finally. That's really nice. And now I've got more firewood, so I could come back in here in our little test hut and cook some more sausages. And we can just leave that running for a bit. But it's nice to have the axe working. The clock, you know, I'm working on making the nights a lot darker too, so that this lantern will be a lot more useful. And I've been working on forest foliage, so now you can see there's like some little, these are technically leaves on the ground, and then I've made these cute little fluttery things and some little plants, and I'll probably make it so you can collect the plant fibers to weave backpacks and stuff. And I'm playing with the thicknesses of forests because I want them to be thick and feel really full, but I need to get a lot more tree meshes in here to give it a lot more variation. And this is also probably a little too thick, like, or maybe they're just too wide of trees. I don't know. It's kind of crazy thick, but I do want it to feel pretty spooky when you enter the forest. So those are like a really quick review of a lot of the changes I've been doing while I haven't been posting videos. Is doing a lot more forest foliage, which a lot of it isn't even in here right now. I just have technically three things. The lighter and darker colored little plants on the ground are actually two different meshes, so I could change their colors with the material separately through the seasons and stuff like that, and keep kind of a variation on the ground. These little plants, I have some berry bushes and some other bushes I'm going to pull in here. I'm working on a bunch more trees to give some variation, because all these pine trees or Douglas firs or whatever I tried to make, it's all actually just one tree. They're all just one tree. Boop, 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 boop. So when I get more trees in there, like 4 or 5, the variation's gonna it'll look great. There's only one aspen, those all look the same. There's only one apple tree. They're just to test stuff out, and I'm just playing with different ways to make them. I don't use any of those like tree mods and stuff that people use, like speed tree and stuff. I don't use any of that. These are all just built in Blender, just from, you know, just little old me. So I like the creative freedom of it though, and I can keep them really low poly, so I can have crazy thick forests. Like, that stuff's all loaded in, you know, and so players who are up in those woods up in there doing their own little thing, you'd see their lights if there's a camp or witches in the woods or something, And I love that, and that's all just because of how low poly I've kept everything. I can do like really vast stuff, especially if I can get the LODs fixed to look better. Man, they look sad right now. And you'll get to watch some of my tiles pop in right now. We'll run down to the water for fun. There they go. So when I get the game closer to completion, I'll have on my persistent world like one big landscape mesh that's lower poly that's always loaded in, so you won't notice these chunks loading in as bad. And I think I have my distance fog turned off right now too, which is why it looks so stupid. And I've been playing with different waters, so there's some great tutorials online. This is like the little Wind Waker looking water, which I just love. And I was playing with it, and then I was playing with this little tune water that is in a free post-processing effect on Unreal Engine. And I was just playing with these, and I've got like 3 other waters that are under the terrain you can't see that I'm playing with. And oops. That's great though. While that's happened, let's find our fog. Oh. Which one was it? It was probably at 2. Yeah. That's better. So, obviously when you're like in the editor like this, you can, your levels are all loaded in usually. So, it looks great. Especially if I've got, meshes and stuff that are far off. It'll be more like that when you're playing. If you could imagine all the scenery and stuff there and towns and everything like that. But I'll have a lower poly mesh loaded in of the ground that will cover that. Man, I feel so poopy. I need to sleep more and stuff. But this isn't what I do full time, obviously. This is like a hobby right now that I hope to have as a career. Woo! That's loud. So hopefully this goes well, and this could be my career, just working on my little game. I would love that. But right now I work as a server/bartender with my wife. We work at the same place. And then when I have time, I try to work on this as much as I can. But I get naughty sometimes. That fog makes it a world of difference. I don't know. I had it turned off because I think I was editing the terrain and stuff. Looks a lot better now that it's back. So yeah, I guess that doesn't feel like I'm showing you very much. I swear I've been working hard on stuff. It just doesn't come off that way, but I have. It's nice that the animations are working now. I had a little bug where, and like you can still see it when I pull out items. His arm looks like it's broken and like hanging in a sack of flesh. I'm still dealing with a lot of these little animation issues. When I get help for Unreal Engine on a lot of things, it's like I kind of mentioned before, I think people don't use Blender all the time. Obviously tons of people do, but reanimating or like targeting animations and stuff, it's just I don't do it. I just make all the animations myself. So if I'm missing something in the blueprints, I gotta debug it. So when I first used to pull out this little axe, and I didn't show you guys before, it was because it looked really bad, honestly. I'd pull it out and the head would instantly go like it was stuck looking at his left foot. And then if I tried to swing the axe, I'd be getting that little axe tip. Oh, I don't have collision on these apple trees yet. Oopsies. It all just looked wonky, and I was explaining in the last update video that I'd have to like turn my whole body like crazy to chop trees. So I got that fixed, obviously, because now I can just run up to them and chop them, and my head's not looking at my foot. And that That's fun. And then I can just like leave firewood everywhere in the world. Little stack of 36 firewood, even though it looks like just one. There it is. I didn't want to show all that stuff. So, been working on it tons. Haven't really updated you guys. This is how it's looking now. Pretty proud of it. I'm still fixing some stuff from my main menu, from my like server starting screen and stuff like that, so that I can actually test with my wife or whoever wants to play. Probably my wife or my friend Anthony or something. I can't play with them until I fix a few more things though, because I can play with myself with this other character like I kind of showed before, and it works fine obviously like in the engine. But if I try to export it right now, since there's not really a main menu and stuff, it just doesn't like work. Before I did all these huge changes, which there's no video of me doing like me before, I used to have a main menu that you go into, and then the multiplayer tutorial that Unreal Engine put out on YouTube. It was just like that. You go to the main menu, you have a little character select screen, you meet your friend on like a mutual world where you could see each other and confirm that you were ready, and then it would send you to the multiplayer map, and it would connect through IP or through the internet, so you could play LAN or online, and then it worked fine. But that was a really old version of this game, and a lot of these meshes were still in there, but a lot of the gameplay wasn't really there. Now there's a lot more gameplay there, but I can't connect with a friend, so I gotta go back and redo a lot of that stuff, which is fine because now I know how to do it, so that'll be easy. I just haven't made that a priority yet because it's like there's not a lot to do if I play with a friend right now, so it's more important to me to get more to do for my friends and I. And then the water I have, if you notice, like even when stuff loads in, the water just kind of makes it look like there's an ocean all around us. I just have a giant mesh under the whole world that's my water for now, just so I had something to look at before things load in. So if I was running around taking screenshots or something, it didn't look terribly ill. I've also been playing with a lot of like frame rate per second stuff, where that's why there's all these trees here. There's nothing up in these forests. Sorry to spoil it for you. This is the test map, so whatever I show you on here, you'll still have a lot of fun things to explore when you finally get the game, because this isn't the world you'll be running around. I've just thrown down tons of forests and stuff everywhere to see how many trees I can really fit on the map, like how vast it can get. And like I did a test the other day with like just dropping tons of player meshes in there with their skeletons and their equipment and stuff on, and switching some equipment around, because I do have more equipment. I just haven't shown anybody because I want to keep some things a surprise, you know. And there could potentially be some pretty big, like almost Battlefield like fights with like 60 players and stuff like that if we wanted to, all in one little space. So potentially the online play could be pretty legit on here, which is pretty exciting. That's just some stuff that I've been testing on here. I guess while I'm showing you things, and since I don't feel like I have a lot to show you for the actual gameplay, I'll open up FL Studio and show you some of my sound effects I've been working on. And also, actually right before I do that, yeah, also before I do anything, this is my friend's clothing brand, Steady Bones, which I guess I didn't invert the camera to be horizontally flipped. Great clothes, American Apparel, very nice. You should check it out, Steady Bones. I think the website's steadybonesclothing.com, and I'll post a link if anybody is interested. Really comfortable clothes, sweet logos. Chris Roeder does a lot of the art. If you ever listen to like Emerosa, or I think he's in from Moss to Flames. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Just check out Chris Roeder if you've never heard of him, obviously. Check out Steady Bones. Sweet stuff. I'm not getting paid for that. I just love the clothes. one thing I kind of wanted to show somebody who is helping me anyways is I have a setting right now where I should have default items equipped right now that should be this body that you see on the equipment window right here. You can see the body there, but I'm in third person right now and I'm invisible. And I did set the settings for these to be my default equipment. And I also set a hairstyle which you can't see at all. I'm trying to figure that out. And then, yeah, when I would unequip this, that slot right here, would still look empty, even though I would have a torso on. And I didn't prepare that before I started recording this video because I had more examples I was going to show. So I'll just make another video that talks about that. And I'll send that to you, my friend, who's helping me. Thank you. But let's look at some little sound effects that I'm working on. So some of these are the stock ones. These top four are not. The top four are the ones I'm doing for my menu. So I really love the sound effects in Crystal Chronicles. I guess there's a re-release coming out on the Switch soon, and I was just excited hearing about that. I loved that game. I loved my GameCube, and I really love how Square Enix usually does like all their little sound effects for their menus and stuff. Final Fantasy IX, I love all the sound effects in that game, and it just is fun. So I thought I would make some stuff like that myself with FL Studio. I have this sweet little little Korg keyboard that I use. I have played music all my life. I used to have like 7 guitars. I sold all of them when my wife and I are going through hard times. They've paid for a lot of things. I used to have a bass, a coughing case, some half stack, a bunch of switch pedals. I sold all that stuff. Now all I've got is my acoustic Ovation and this little Korg keyboard. And this Korg keyboard has been way fun playing with FL Studio, which I also bought. Everything I use, I bought. I have my little licenses. I've got the receipts. So it's all kosher for me to use for the game. But yeah, using a little piano roll. If you go forward in the menu, it'll sound like this. Oopsies. And if you go back on the menu, and then if you toggle something on in the menu, or if you toggle something back off, I've got this is when you accept your settings, like you've changed a bunch of stuff and you want to accept it, or also when you're gonna like log into the game, like you're gonna click play and you're going into a server, you'll hear this. Or if you die, you'll hear this. Kind of creepy, I like that though, because the game is really cartoony and cute, but a lot of the elements I'm working on, there's going to be some pretty creepy, scary stuff, which is why when I get the vitals working again, there's a whole like 3 parts of the vitals you have to keep an eye on if your character's scared, which is sanity, fatigue, and just overall your overall health. Because if you go into a cave and you don't have a light and it's dark, like the little lantern that we play with, your sanity will kind of start to drip, and when your sanity drips, you'll start to have more fatigue, and if you pass out, well then, if you've ever passed out in DayZ, you know that's not fun. So yeah, this is your little death sound. And I'll have I'm making a better version of the "You Died" screen. That'll be fun. And then when you want to respawn and come back to life, and whether you go back to your bed or you don't have a bed to sleep in, so you spawn somewhere randomly or whatever, this will be that same sound that you hear for that, which is the you keep playing. And then these are the stock sounds. Clothing, weapon, armor. Those are all pretty loud. I don't like them. I probably won't keep them. Picking stuff up, dropping stuff, and then I've got footsteps. If you ever want to do stuff like that, and you have FL Studio or something, and you have a little chord keyboard like this, you know, and I go to this. Let's not do the armor. You can take stock sounds and mess with them. I'm recording some of my own sound effects with my little mic that I have, so I'll be doing those. And then footsteps aren't that hard because you just take a couple different keys, like and then you can use that same sound effect and make footsteps and stuff like that really easy. Anyways, so yeah, that's some other stuff I've been working on. I've been working on a lot of different projects lately so that the game can come to life a bit more. You guys have probably already heard this. This is on my YouTube, which is the like boss fight music. As soon as it opens, whew, that is loud. I'm sorry. I don't want to show you guys this stuff. I'll blow your ears out. So if I cut that little clip, it's because the music was too loud. But yeah, I've got so much other stuff I want to show, but I don't want to show it yet. I don't want to show it till it's like closer to being done. So that's the game as of November. Is post-processing effects have been changing. I've been working on more LODs, even though they look bad. I've been working on forest foliage to make the woods look more lively. Because this with nothing on the ground compared to this with stuff on the ground, big difference. I've been tearing this castle apart and turning it into spline stuff, which is fun. And I've got a lot of the animations working now, so I've been pumping out equipment to play with, and I've been doing recipes for our characters. The only one that you saw was me cooking a weenie, but there's soups and other stuff like that. So the gameplay is starting to be there. By the end of the year, probably won't be much different, but I'll still do an update video in December. I'll probably have some of those castle splines done. I'm going to start working on a town, a little starting area, which there won't really be a starting area in this game. It's going to be more like DayZ, where you randomly drop somewhere, you're homeless, you're a vagrant, and you make your life in the Seven Wildz, and you start working for either the sins or the virtues, and you turn the world good or bad, and you're fighting with other players to decide how your server is going to be. Is it going to be good or bad or just kind of neutral, and you're always fighting? We'll get there, one little step at a time. So, but when I said starting town, by the end of December, I'm hoping to have a little town that we can test in instead of one sad little medieval roundhouse and one sad little barracks / keep. No, I'm going to flesh out what an actual town will feel like in this game, and that'll also help a lot with relative size, because I learned that this is way too small. And this is kind of more accurate. And if I have these little medieval roundhouses, and they look so big next to what's supposed to be a keep, it's just like, this guy's not much better off than these little guys. Really, realistically, this person would be way better off. But yeah, so I'm going to have a town done by December, I'm hoping, or at least underway pretty well. And I'm going to be pumping out more items. So by this time next year, hopefully it's a lot more playable. And even in a few more months, it'll be more playable, and there'll at least be some things to do and some buildings to kind of start playing with. And recipes to make, and at that point we can start playing with AI and starting to get the world fleshed out, and at least I'll have like a rough draft of gameplay that I can test with my close friends, and then we'll just move from there. So that's what I've been up to. Sound effects, post-processing effects, spline work, animations, items. Not a lot to show you right now, but it's all happening, and I have shown you bits and pieces so you can see that I'm doing it. So that is all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry my room's so dark. Check out that Steady Bones website. The clothes are awesome. And I will start posting more of my speed art and stuff when I'm not sick anymore. I honestly, since I've been sick, I'm either like modeling in Blender and listening to some chill music, or like lo-fi hip-hop or something. And then if I get kind of burnt out because mentally it like exhausts me, and since I'm sick I'm just not feeling it, then I've just been playing Destiny 2 a lot, I'll be honest. But I have been working on the game. I've just not feeling great, man. But my wife is watching Netflix in the next room over, and I'm tired, and we got a new kitten. Oh my god, where is that kitten? I'm going to do a cat update too. Adorable kitten. So now we have Atticus and Manson, who are kind of part Maine Coon, and they're big cats. And then we've got this little one now we're calling Jonesy, and oh, my wife has her. This is Jonesy. Hi, Jonesy. Oh, look at oh yeah, get up in the mic. This is Jonesy. She's not. No, she doesn't look up very well. But we adopted her from my sister, and she's extra cute. Oh, she wants to get away so bad. And come here. You don't have to show. Just. Oh no, I just want to kiss you. Yeah, you. I love you.
I love you too. Hi guys.
Hi. So, when I'm not feeling sick, I'll do a lot better videos for you. I'm going to go watch movies with my wife. Bye guys, thanks for the support. Look forward to showing you more stuff soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.